Okay, welcome everybody that's here and everybody that's watching the replay. This is the new moon ceremony for Cancer, the Cancer new moon, and I'm Renee Varnador. So welcome, welcome. We're going to sing in 7 of the archangels, and in order to sing, because I sing around the room, I face east and then south, and you can't hear me. So I'm just going to, change and turn original sound off. Okay, here we go. Facing east. Spirits of the east, air and inspiration, Archangel Raphael, please come. Spirits of the south, thy recreative spirits, Archangel Michael, please come. Spirits of the west, all-wielding spirits, Archangel Gabriel, please come. Spirits of the north, earth-clearing spirits, Archangel Uriel, please come. Spirits of below, mother of potentiality, Archangel Sandalphon, please come. Spirits of above, for the sky perspective change, Archangel Raziel, please come. Spirits of within, heart space gifts, Archangel Hanael, please come. Okay, let's see. Woo! Did anybody notice any particular direction or archangel that was even more potent than the rest of them? So that's an interesting thing to notice. We're going to light a candle, and the candle that we're lighting, the light in the candle, is a symbol of the light within us, that divine spark within each one of us. So I'm going to light this candle. So now when I look at this, see, I can see the divine spark right here. The next thing I'm going to do is I have 2 aura clearing tools here. One of them is a selenite wand, which I can just go, and usually it's my brain that's needs to be cleared. Just like twirl it around, and it's amazing how this thing works, because I feel stuff leaving, which is good. Okay, so then I also have Aura Clear spray that's got some essential oils and some sacred water in it. So I'm going to just spray that, and that's another Aura clearing tool. So any that you've got, go for it. Here we go. I'm going to share my handout now. If I have enough room. Here we go. And okay, so as everybody see this? Thank you, Carrie. We've got it. All right. So this is it. This is today. This is right now. This is the new moon phase right here. You can't even see anything. Moon goes through all these beautiful phases. We're going to be doing a meditation later. I hope I'm going to try to only talk for 15 minutes and then we'll spend more time with the meditation. So we're going to do a meditation, and we're going to ask ourselves, what is being conceived within you on a soul level at this time? Because new moons are seeding periods for the whole lunation cycle. So we have 12 lunation cycles a year, whereas the sun only goes around once a year. That's why we call it a year. So here are the things we're going to need for we already have the candle. We already have the aura clearing. You're going to need a journal. You might want to prep your sacred water right now. So I'm going to put some Reiki symbols in this water. If you don't know Reiki, then you just do some swirlies one direction and then a swirl spiral the other direction. The other thing you can do, if you have it, is this is sanctified water from Chalice Wells. They have the white spring and the red spring over there, and the whole town goes in and gets water from the springs. And so then we got our sacred water ready to go for the end of the ceremony. I also have a piece of dark chocolate. If you don't eat chocolate, but you have something that's both bitter and sweet, you just need a tiny bite of something. So if you might just have a little bit of cinnamon or whatever. Also, a long scarf is fun when we're going to move around a bit before we sit down and do the meditation. So those are the things. Okay, and that's what we did. We sang that song. So this is what the new moon in Cancer looks like. Okay, so I'm going to explain what this is, and for anybody that doesn't know, but we've got all the signs of the zodiac on the outer ring, and we've got the planets here. These little glyphs are the planets. And so right now we see, oh, there's Cancer. There's the sign, little glyph for Cancer. And then we go, oh, there's the glyph for the sun. There's the glyph for the moon. So at 10:32, where I am in Rosarita Beach and where Carrie is in San Diego, because we're at the same latitude, pretty much, more or less. Then we've got 24 degrees and 56 minutes. So the sun and the moon almost at 25 degrees meeting up in Cancer, and nobody else is in Cancer with them. But we've got a couple things happening. We've got 22 degrees. No, we don't. We have 29 degrees of Capricorn opposite the sun and the moon here. So that's Pluto is our planet of transformation. So we are able to just, if there's anything that you want to be, that you feel like you've got to be transforming in your life right now, this Cancer new moon is a good time to have more to open to more compassion. The Cancer new moon is a really watery Cancer. And there's Brenda. We've got two Brendas here today. And Carrie and Rita. So it's just like, woohoo. Okay, so Cancer is very much water, and water signs are very emotional, and they relate wherever our moon is. It's very emotional. So if you have your moon in a water sign, you've got double emotional going on, and that's just you. And if anybody doesn't like it, well, that's just too bad. So you've just got this sun and the moon, when they're together in Cancer, it gives us an opportunity to nurture ourselves, to work on self-care, to kind of contemplate. And we had this new moon was exact like an hour and a half ago. So it's just really recent. We don't not even sure yet what it's doing, but hopefully by the time we do the meditation, we'll figure out Okay, what's setting up for us this month? One thing we know that's setting up is in this watery moon, we've got an opposition with Pluto in Capricorn, which is an earth sign. And Pluto, as we know, is very transformational. And so we've got all of this ready for us to open into more compassion. That's the invitation of a Cancer new moon, is to open up into more compassion. And if there are people in your life that you don't want to open to compassion with, then it's an invitation to really look at yourself more deeply and have more compassion for yourself, because everything starts with you. Everything you want to bring out into the outer world, all the relationships you want to transform, it all starts within you. So giving yourself more compassion. If you're like, then you know it's time to accept those things in you that you may be uncovering and not like so much. So sometimes just before the new moon, we uncover some stuff, and it's just like I was looking at some stuff today, and you know, yesterday, and I'm just realizing, I've got to give myself compassion. I've got a missing cat right now, and I've got to give myself some compassion for how I might be showing up and moving through. So she disappeared last night, and she wasn't there to eat her breakfast this morning, so we don't know where she went. She's an indoor cat. So Rita, did you want to say something?
Well, based on this new information, they do tend to come back. So if that's any little solstice on it, on your, a hug from here. And I wondered, what's the difference, but if you could just tell me real quick, what's the difference between like the depths in the Scorpio sign and the watery energy of the Cancer sign? Thank you.
So all of the elements get stronger and stronger as you go around the wheel. So we start with Aries, fire energy, and Cancer is the first water energy. So if we started, where's Aries right now? So Aries is here. So this is really strong fire. This is really strong earth. This is really, sorry, this is, just your regular normal fire, regular earth, regular air, and then this is regular water. And so if you really are able to touch into the watery Cancerian side, then when you have to deal with the more intense Scorpionic waters that just want to plunge you really deep, or the Piscean waters that have you really in an imaginal realm in the unconscious, part of being able to work with the energies of Scorpio and work with the energies of Pisces is being able to adapt and do the lessons of Cancer, which is be able to nurture yourself, be able to do self-care. So if you're, in a deep dive in the middle of Scorpionic waters, you go, okay, I just need to cancel me trying to help do anything for anybody else and just meditate and journal today, or walk on the beach, or take a bath, or do something that is actual self-care. So that's just kind of nurturing myself. Or I'm lucky I have an astrologer whose moon is 0 degrees Cancer. And so she is the essence of Cancer. You get on a call with her, and she's just like the most nurturing person that one of the most nurturing people I've ever met. So if you know somebody that's really is a strong nurturing presence, then then that can be really helpful.
I have
So,
my South Node in Cancer, which means I'm kind of trying to move a little bit beyond being so helpful all the time.
okay. All right. So you're one of those nurturing, compassionate types. Okay, so you want to go with the Cancer, the opposite energy to what you're describing is this where this Pluto is right now, which is this earth mastery. And so you just focus on the things that you're trying to bring here to manifest. So here we are with the sun and moon together. They're opposites. The sun is like the yang energy, the masculine energy we all have, and the moon is the yin energy, or the feminine energy we both have, and they're meeting up. So we're kind of meeting up in this space of alignment with our masculine and feminine energies. So that's one of the things that's happening for all of us. And if we have a hard time balancing those, or we prefer one rather than the other, instead of going, oh, now I'm in my feminine energy, now I'm in my masculine energy, because those are the appropriate, those tasks require certain kinds of energy. Pluto's right there in Capricorn, ready to help us out. If we know, so all of these red lines here, we've got a lot of red lines, and those are all invitations to clear some crap that we don't want to carry around with us anymore. So there is a square in this new moon to Eris, which is, Eris is like this trans-Neptunian planet, so she's way past, she's past Pluto. She's kind of in this, around the same area as Pluto, and she's around the same size as Pluto, and she is fierce grace. So inviting fierce grace in, if there's anything that you have to deal with, or anything that you need to show up as, Eris, having a square to Eris, you can say, okay, I seriously need some self-care. What is this fierce grace asking me to do? And how can I make sure that I take care of myself as I'm stepping out with fierce grace? So that's one thing. And then the other thing, so then this Eris is also square to Pluto, because there's an opposition between the Pluto and the new moon. And so Pluto is also getting a square. Pluto is square the nodes right now. And you can see that this node is in, this little sign is the sign of the nodes, and it is in Taurus at 0 degrees 0 minutes, which means that it's about to move into the next sign, because the nodes move backwards. And so the nodes have been in Taurus and Scorpio. The South Node's been in Scorpio for the last 18 months. So the nodes usually move in 18-month increments. And just when we got on, when everybody entered the call, that's when we moved, the nodes moved into this new dynamic. So that's what I'm saying down here. The nodes of the moon just completed their 18 months in Scorpio Taurus axis. What began on a soul level on January 18th, 2022. And for me, my mom had just passed December 21st, so not even a month, and I was in Puerto Vallarta with my husband, and somebody calls me up and was shocked that I would be in Puerto Vallarta when I should be planning a memorial service for all of her friends. So that was kind of interesting, but there was a lot of beautiful depth and sunset, sitting on the sand in restaurants, and just a really beautiful break for my husband and I to walk around without a coat in January in Puerto Vallarta. And what began for me then, which I didn't see coming, was this period where I would, by last week, basically, I was no longer afraid of going into the scorpionic depths. And part of that is because I know how to do self-care now. So, which was the nodal axis before this one. So I'm like, okay, so I can, I'm not afraid to look at the things that I don't want to see about myself and know that I'm not going to like go into a deep depression and go crazy over this stuff anymore. Although I still feel the stuff. And I also learned that because I know how to ground in Taurus, that's going to help, that's helping me go into the scorpionic depths. So Cancer helps with going into scorpionic depths, and Taurus helps with that. And Taurus energy is very, very earth grounded energy, and really being able to take all the stuff that was floating around in my brain and be able to ground it more and more. And so in the last 18 months, I actually was able to pull in a lot of information from stars and planets after looking at my galactic chart since October of last year. So that was really helpful. And because I completed that, okay, it's like, think about what on the Scorpio Taurus axis you might have completed. And it's going to feel different in different houses for everybody. So this was all happening in my fourth house. And I was, my husband and I were just like redoing our house and bringing in art. We brought art back from Puerto Vallarta, all kinds of things. And we were just really making everything beautiful on multiple levels in our house. So what are you being invited to let go of is an interesting question when the nodes change signs. And it's an interesting thing just before we find out what is seeding within us. It's like, okay, what do I have to let go of? What do I have to clear in order to see that? What am I being invited to let go of? You know, that I'm somehow not susceptible to the same kinds of, you know, kind of selfish tendencies and narcissistic tendencies that everybody on the planet is on the scale at some point. And just kind of being able to make choices to go with the power of love instead of the love of power, and just being able to express and invite rather than control. So there's all of that kind of recognition that's been coming up for me as I've been binge watching all of these cults to consciousness, all these we're in the golden age of cult awareness right now, I guess. And so we're looking at nodes of the moon, and here's what we were the minute we got on this call. This completed. We were in the middle of a grand square. We could see the grand square here, here, and here. And now with an hour and a half later, with these, the nodes moved to 29 degrees Libra, and the North Node at 29 degrees Aries, and that completed a grand square with a cross running through it. So this is, for me, what is beginning. Part of wondering, okay, well, what's beginning for me and with this new nodal axis? And when I'm talking about a nodal axis, I'm talking about opposites. I'm talking about this is Aries is getting started and doing something, kind of like on a soul level. What am I starting? What fire am I bringing? And the Libra South Node is okay. Not being so wrapped up in what I'm bringing that I'm not in relationship with other people. And for me, this access is happening in my third house and ninth house. And the third house is communication, and the ninth house, among other things, is publishing. So I'm like, oh, well, I am just going, that's more evidence that I'm just going to publish the self-publish a bunch of poetry that I've been writing for the last 4 months. And so there's just more of a commitment. Every time I look at my chart and look at all this stuff, I go, oh my gosh, yes, that's what's happening. That's what I see beginning. And it just helps me bring it through. Go ahead, Rita.
One more quick question. When I understood the South Node, North Node in terms of my personality, it was like, I come from the South Node and I'm moving into the North Node. Does it work like that? Is it a journey like South to North in this lunar nodes, or is it some other kind of relationship?
When you look at your birth chart, wherever the nodes were on when you were born, that's like, oh, okay, I'm really comfortable here. I need to, and then so you're like, okay, I'm comfortable here. That's good. But I don't want to just be stuck on one end of the axis. I want to explore the other axis too. So, but it's not like you completely let go of the other end and completely go over here. So what happens is that after you've satisfied what you're doing in the North Node and you just feel like you can do North Node and South Node, then what happens is you come into this kind of golden center on the line of opposites. And then it's like, oh, I already know how to use the North Node. The South Node I've known since I was born. Now I can work with these two energies because they've kind of combined them. They're kind of a combination now because I know them so well. So I'm not.
And so how's that working like now with the lunar nodes of the moon, Aries, Libra axis?
Right. So you're aware of some of the low vibrational aspects of Libra, and you're letting go of parts of yourself that are like, okay, well, I'm just going to go along with whatever this person wants to do because, it's just easier and it's more peaceful, it's more balanced. And then you're just like, you're going along with the other person so much, it's like you don't even know what restaurant you like anymore or what food you want, or, so if you have things like that where you're just kind of like, yeah, whatever you want to do, that's fine. Oh, really? You want to go to Morocco? Okay, go. It's like you want to let go of parts of your personality that will do anything for peace and balance. But there are higher aspects of Libra that you don't want to let go of. The ability to balance, the ability to bring harmony. If you know Aries spark within you, what you want, what lights you up, what's passionate, what is a what is a non-negotiable for me. This has to happen. This is what, if you want to be in a relationship with me, this is what we got to do. Kind of thing. So we know what our thing is. And my husband's already figured out that I change what I'm doing all the time. And he's like, okay, honey, whatever. It took him a while to figure it out. He used to convict me over it. Now he's just like, oh, okay, honey. So this is that square. So we've got the nodes here, and we've got the Pluto new moon here. Any questions on this before we move? Okay, talk for half an hour. I always talk for half an hour. Oh my God. Okay. We still have a half an hour to do the ceremony. Any questions before we move on to the ceremony?
That was very helpful. I think it's going to help my ceremony because at this point, I'm just like, it's hard for me to know that Aries spark. Like, well, what is my non-negotiable? I'm like, okay, how I'm treated. That's, I know some clues to it, but I'll be interested to see what comes up now. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, because what could be coming up is that thing within you that is just like, no, this is my spark of passion right now. This is what I'm doing, honey. Yeah. So there we go. So here we go. La la la. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. My beginning, I'm writing mystical poetry about the essence, Aries, of my life, essence or passion. Wisdom, because after Aries, after your passion and you start it, then you go into the next fire sign, which is Leo, which is the essence. And then you go into Sagittarius, which is like really wild ass adventure. And she's like, and then the wisdom that is universal is a higher aspect of Libra. So I can do this only because I am no longer afraid of our collective depths. I mean, I was looking at politics and seeing how mean everybody's been to each other for years and just be like, how can you even believe these people? Oh, okay. Now I understand all this culty behavior all over the place. In many aspects, not just politics, it's all over religions and all kinds of places and in relationships. And so it's just like, oh, okay. So thank you, Scorpio Taurus axis. And what is, because the end is in the beginning and the beginning is in the end. It's the little snake that's eating its tail. And one of the things that I think is going to help, because we've got a grand cross and a grand square, although we do have some nice blue lines that are nice and flowy. We've got some nice flowy Neptune, trining, Neptune in Pisces trining this Cancer moon, which is helpful. We've got Sedna trining this Pluto. So this makes Neptune and Sedna are both very spiritual planets. And so we can look at those aspects of what's happening. I always look at those aspects anyway, but it's like those aspects are what we can be thinking about when something is within us is ending and beginning. So one of the things that helps ending in the beginning is it's really hard to see, but there's this little figure 8 in the middle of all this invitation to clear. And it's just like this. So figure 8s would be just like an 8. And when you get, it's like when I was talking about the nodal axis, I was talking about one side of the line and the other side of the line. But if you're talking about a figure 8, you can be all the way over on this side of the loop or all the way over on that side of the loop. And when you hit the balance point, that's the very center of the figure 8. So when we move around, we're going to be moving in figure 8s. We're going to be moving our hands. We're going to be moving our scarf. We're going to be moving our hips, drawing figure 8s on the floor, because what we're trying to do with this grand square energy is to bring it into the center. We're trying to bring, if we can, my thesis that I'm working through is if we can bring ourselves into balance and harmony, into our own center within us, then we are an example of that can help the polarized world. Or, if we're in a polarized workplace or a polarized family or whatever, country, whatever. So that's that. And if we're going to the center of the center, we've got the circle of spirit, we've got our divine feminine and our divine masculine, and we've got an overlap, and we're looking for that point within us that is the overlap of all of these center points of all of these energies. This is what we need for the ceremony. And I'm going to stop sharing. Stop share. Okay, stop share. Okay, there we are. And I'm going to turn on a little bit of music. Oh, come on. And okay, that should be better. Okay, so now's the time when we're going to move. Okay, if we want to come back to sitting, notice how we feel in our body after we got up and moved around a bit. See if we feel anything stirred up, anything that we got to let go of, anything that we got stirred up, anything that came to us. So now we're going to have our feet on the ground. Feeling our feet on the ground. Feeling the bottoms of our feet open. Feeling 2 feet below our feet, the Earth Star chakra, and bringing in that nourishing earth energy up into our feet and up our legs and all the way to our root chakra, knowing that we belong here now. bringing that earth energy up to our sacral chakra, knowing that this nurturing Cancerian new moon energy is very comfortable in our sacral chakra. And we can just feel this healing and nurturing happening, this compassion happening in our sacral chakra with this new moon, bringing earth into this area so that we might see in a moment things that are planted here, new seeds, bringing earth energy up to our solar plexus chakra, aligning our will with divine will, what is good, not just for me, but for all. Loving the power of love, moving that earth energy into the heart chakra where this transformation, where Pluto's transformation, where the new nodal axis transformation, where this bringing together of energies that the new moon is, we're feeling all of this moonlight, sunlight in our heart chakra, along with this earth energy that helps us ground it and helps us see where it can manifest. And we're bringing earth energy into our throat. This is our communication center, so our words and our songs and all of the writing that we're going to do in a moment, and then bringing up the earth energy into our brow chakra, where we can see with our intuition, where we can see and we can work with the imaginal realm, work with our intuition. And then earth energy at the crown of our head, opening the crown of our head to receive energy and information from the sun, from the moon, from the stars. Now feeling that starlight energy coming in, coming down, our third eye, coming down, our throat chakra, coming into our heart space, letting go of any light that is too much. You can let go of and just hold what's needed in your heart chakra. You can take your hands and place it on your heart and inhale, feeling that energy mix of earth and starlight in your heart chakra, in this portal of transformation. Take another breath from behind the heart chakra, feeling this sense of energy come in to your heart chakra, feeling this from one side and from the other side, those 2 points creating a center. And on our third breath, we move through that center that we moved and created in all of our figure eights, that center that is an invitation with all of these lines of energy, inviting us into the center of ourselves. And we can ask the question with one hand on our heart and perhaps one hand on our sacral chakra, if that feels right to you. We can ask ourselves, what is being conceived within me at this time? What is being conceived? What seeds are being planted? What is being conceived? And I'll be quiet for a moment. And we start to come back to the room that we're in. We start to be aware of our breath. And we think about what is being conceived within me. What baby step can I take today or tomorrow? What baby step, what small little thing can I do that is going to help bring this seed, help me water this new seed, this watering not only this new month, but watering this new 18 months. And when you've thought of your baby step, you can pick up your pen and go over to your journal and begin writing. Okay, so if you have figured out your baby step, figured out the next thing you're going to do, figure out how to write it down as an intention of something that you're going to be doing and what's going to help you. And when you figure that out, we're going to be ready for the next part of the ceremony. And so we've got our sacred water and we've got our intention in our head, and we're going to drink the sacred water and be aware of it moving through our body so that the entire intention that we have is going to move in this wonderful Cancerian liquid here, this water. So be thinking and bringing that energy down in And now think about if you need, what kind of help you need with this. Do you need a higher power to help you? Do you need star beings to help you? Do you need archangels? Do you need ascended masters? Do you need an actual person, on the earth plane right now who can be of assistance to you in helping you bring this into fruition? So now you get your chocolate, and it is a sense, as you bite into the chocolate and chew up the chocolate, it is a sense of communion with this higher power that's going to help you achieve this particular goal. Okay. Wow. That was good. I just really am feeling a lot of energy and a lot of help with that square, and seeing the pattern of the square, just being able to move energetically across all of the lines, making the square in my mind, and making that square air, then making it water, then making it fire, then making it earth, and then being in the center of that, of all of those elements, in order to create what I want. So, or create what I feel like is trying to be birthed within me. So that was interesting. That's what I was feeling, and I was feeling the archangels helping me. So the ones we sang in. So that was cool. And so is anybody else wants to share what they received? We have time for anybody that wants to share to go ahead and unmute. Sometimes it's powerful if you tell other people what it is that you're working with and what you're working on. And, I'm going to be working with that square this month. Anybody want to unmute and share what they realized? Or go ahead, Rita.
Yes, it came as that I welcome my new self-conception.
Oh, beautiful.
And that to let go of the story that I don't know what I want. And then changing it to, I do know what I am here to be, do, and have.
Ooh.
And my specific intention is to be authentic, which
Mhm.
kind of has a little bit of author in there too, by the way. And I'm welcoming to do this. I'm welcoming my shadow side, which today I started watching a series of videos about the shadow, like re-welcoming the part that was afraid of what other people would think. And so that's the other one is that I'm releasing concern for other people's egos, is how I put it.
Yeah.
And then my intention, I rejoice in the new life within me, and I call on the assistance of the new life's guides and angels, just like when I was having my babies.
So beautiful. Thank you, Rita. That's awesome. Brenda, did you want to share?
I do, at least a bit. So just going to turn my camera around and see if you guys see the dragonfly on my screen. So he's actually the reason I'm here. So Renee, we need to stay on the call after, because I'm not sure what's going on, but anyway, so I had thought, okay, he was there when I left this morning. He was there when I came home at lunch, and I could suddenly see you, and knew that I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I was writing and it was like something with the moon. Oh, wait, ceremony today. And then I joined the class, but so mine, was really more about what's being planted or being conceived. It's really what I got in the early part of after I joined was that it's about time I came back, to myself, to this life, to this, way of being. And so what's being conceived is deeper connections, a more spiritual, fulfilled way of life. But my intention is to honor my teachers in all their forms.
Wow. Beautiful.
And so that was all I wanted to share. But I wanted to show everyone the dragonfly, because he's been hanging out here for some hours now. He's not even on a glass, he's on the screen. So it's an odd place for him to hang out. He's been coming with some, anyway. But that was what I wanted to share, was that my message, or my whatever for today, is about honoring my teachers in all their forms.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so it's 1:00, and so we're going to sing ourselves out. Let me put the words up here back again. It's probably going to sound weird because I'm not going to turn off the whatever the songs. Next, there's a whole Venus phase thing happening, so pay attention to your email, because there's going to be, Venus is going to go into retrograde on July 22nd, and there's a whole completion thing there. So the next new moon ceremony is going to be Thursday, August 17th at noon. Then this is my website, reneevarnador.com. If you're watching this and you're like, oh, I want to know exactly what house this nodal changes in, so that I can see what's going on with my chart and what I'm being invited to do with this nodal shift, you can, that's my website. You can find me, you can email me, you can reply to the emails I send out, whatever. You can message me on Facebook. So there's all kinds of ways to get in touch with me if you feel like you want a reading. But let's all sing like we're all okay. I can feel at least 3 people watching the replay here. So let's add them in. Feel them all. And here we go. In this circle of love, in this circle of peace, in this circle of love, in this circle of peace, I feel our unity, love, sweet security. I feel our unity, love, sweet security. In this circle of love, in this circle of peace. Okay, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful Monday. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful month. Awesome. And I'm turning off. I am